company. Ordinarily, two's company. But contrarily, we disagree, no matter what it happens to be.
You're the perverse one.
I agonize
Night and day with you.
to compromise.
There's no way with you.
I wish I had picked a large boa constrictor, my friend.
Are you trying to tell me something?
You're the perverse one, two's company.
Indisputably.
Two's company.
Irrefutably.
How we embark on old Noah's Ark, pair by pair.
Not so loud.
So ask me whose company.
Whenever I choose company.
I gotta say, two's company.
Except for this affair.
You give me mal de mer.
Do you know what that means?
Could we let in some fresh air?
No, madam.
Au contraire.
You're pushing me, Robert. Don't push me.
They should be doing this, madam. They said they would collect it.
They happen to be little Boy Scouts, Robert. Don't push me.
I wasn't pushing, madam. I was merely guiding.
You're not allowed to guide. Girl Scouts guide. Boy Scouts scout. Got it? Forget it. Keep moving.
I still think I should have been given first refusal.
You were given first refusal. Besides, what would you want with the ladies' dressing table? Anyway, you refused. You told me I do not want this table.
Only because you failed to tell me it was a valuable antique, madam.
Well, you're so knowledgeable about everything, Robert. I thought sure you'd know a valuable antique when you saw one.
I do know a valuable antique. Well, I changed my mind.
Only when you decided to what, Robert?
Sell
it. See, I got you. Too bad, too late. As we speak, this table belongs to the Boy Scouts.
And what are they going to do with it?
I don't know. I think they're going to raffle it off.
You can still change your mind, madam. You know, the money would still go to charity.
I happen to think that the Boy Scouts charity is more worthwhile than Robert's charity.
What is Robert's charity?
Robert.
Very funny, madam.
Thank you, Robert.
And the Boy Scouts charity?
I don't know. I think it has something to do with old people.
I'm no longer young myself, madam.
You're young enough to pick up your end of the table. What am I doing here?
Where?
Here.
Well, you walked there, madam, from there to there.
Now, when we started out, I was there and you were here.
Oh, no, madam, I've always been here. I haven't moved from here.
You pulled a switch in the guest room so that I'd be here and you'd be there.
Does it matter?
Of course it matters. All the big weight of the table's going to be at my end when we take it down the stairs.
It is your dressing table, madam.
Boy, oh boy, the age of chivalry sure is dead in this
I'm
house.
most chivalrous, madam. I'm allowing you as a lady to go first.
Oh, really? Thanks very much, Robert. Now, come on. You take this end and I'll take that end.
You do like to make things difficult for people.
Never
madam.
mind.
I can't get past.
Putting on a little weight, are we?
Certainly. Here we are.
Thank you very much. Shall we dance?
Yes, but do be careful, madam. I'm going backwards.
Robert, be careful. Now you're pulling me. Wait a minute. Let me get... All right, now look, can I get it down the first step? Just give me a break. There, now it's down one. Wait till I get my foot down. All right, take it down another step down. Over to the left. Now. What's the matter?
It appears to be stuck, madam. Excuse me.
Where are you going? What about me?
You appear to be stuck too, madam.
How do you think I'm going to get down the stairs?
Yeah, first things first, madam. I must answer the phone call.
Oh, by all means, answer it, Robert. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Whoever it is, why don't you ask them all up for a drink?
Oh, good evening. Is Mrs. McNabb in?
Why? Who are you?
I'm Freddie Robinson, vicar of St. Andrews. This is Father O'Shea.
Who is it, Robert?
Two gentlemen of the cloth, madam.
Mrs. McNabb, I was just passing your house. I thought I'd pop in and thank you personally for your very generous gift to my scout troop.
Oh, don't be silly, Vicar. It was my pleasure, believe me. How very nice of you to stop by and thank me in person. I'll have a word with you later, Robert. Well, now why don't I be a good scout and invite you in for a drink, maybe? How about it?
What do you think, Jimmy?
What about Harry?
Well, he did say it'd be quite some time at number 76.
In that case, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Mrs. McNabb. This is Father O'Shea.
Oh, hello, Father. How do you do? Happy to know you, and you know Robert,
We
my
have
papa.
met, yes.
Of course you've met. Okay.
Do come in.
Come right in. Awfully sorry about having been under the table when you arrived, Vicar. I assure you this will be my first drink today. Come in, Vicar. Why don't you sit over here on my right?
Thank you.
And, Father,
Oh,
right
thank you very
there,
much, thank
okay? Right.
Irish whiskey and water for you, sir. Father?
Oh, yes, thank you very much indeed, but do go easy on the water, please.
And what about you, sir?
Are we doing any more visiting, Jimmy?
No.
Oh, well, the same for me. Thank you.
Why don't you have a drink? Why don't you have a drink, Robert, unless it's against your religion? I don't like to be rude, Vicar, Father, but what's with the tracksuit?
Well, actually, we started jogging during the summer.
Well, good for you, and good for you.
Yes, we wanted our parishioners to see that we were friends.
We thought it might help to break down the barriers.
Well, I think that's terrific. Robert, isn't that a terrific idea?
Ecumenically, madam.
What did you say?
Do you know the meaning of the word?
Yes, I know the meaning of the word. For one God, read one church.
And what was the original spelling?
Not E, but O-E. Could we have our drinks, Robert? We'll play mastermind after dinner. Cheers. Oh, I'm
Cheers.
so sorry, Vicar. You haven't got some beer. There you go.
Thank you. Well, now, are you going to come to the bonfire, Mrs. McNabb?
The bonfire.
Well, that's what we want the wood for. We're going to charge everybody £1. That will cover the bonfire, the fireworks, and the barbecue supper. We're hoping to raise about £100.
Vicar, you don't mean... You're not intending to use my table for the bonfire.
You mean you rather my scouts didn't collect it?
Wait, you don't want it?
Well, only if it can be burned.
But, Vicar, it's worth £300.
£300!
I thought that would change your mind.
That's blatant favoritism, madam.
What is blatant favoritism?
I wasn't allowed to change my mind, madam.
But the vicar didn't know the true value of the table, Robert.
Neither did I, madam. And if he's allowed to change his mind, I'm allowed to change my mind. As I change my mind first, it's mine.
Robert, it's my dressing table, and I'll decide who gets it.
Excuse me, you're prepared to give £300 to charity?
Well, actually, Father, I didn't know it was worth £300 until after I promised it to the Boy Scouts, but never mind, I'm not married to it. If the vicar wants it, he can have it.
As I see it, Mrs. McNabb, and of course I am speaking objectively, you can now give your money to any charity you like. One of my charities, for example. You'd rather give it to a Church of England charity?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you, madam.
Thank me for what?
Well, I'm Church of England. So if you get to make the check out to cash, madam?
Robert, the money is going to charity.
And it will, madam, to a charity of your choice.
Oh, isn't it funny? I suddenly don't trust you.
But if it's going to a charity, why shouldn't it go to my charity?
Or mine come to that?
You're not Church of England.
Well, I'm not Church of England either.
You're not?
No, I'm Catholic.
Oh, you're a Catholic?
Yes, Father. I went to a convent. Now, let's not get into that. Let's decide what to do about this dressing table.
Well, now, you did say you'd give it to me.
Madam's changed her mind.
Well, it's your decision and your decision alone, Mrs. McNabb.
I know,
if
Father,
you want
but-
to give your money to a Church of England charity rather than to one of your own, well, so be it.
So be what? What do you mean to one of my own?
Well, you are a Catholic, my dear, and my charities are your charities.
Oh, that's not fair, Father. You're making me feel guilty.
Of course I am.
Well, at least you're honest.
Yes, well, let me be equally honest. If you don't mind disappointing a group of senior citizens so eagerly looking forward to a day by the seaside...
If I may be even more honest, what about your own particular little charity, madam? All those little puppy doggies turned out into the snow, whimpering with nowhere to go.
You know, you're both putting me in a hell of a position.
Madam,
How can...
your language.
No, that's
Now
not
listen,
all right.
Freddie, we are not being fair to the lady.
No, we are not.
No, you're not. If I were you, madam, I would say a plague on both your houses and look further.
About as far as I'm looking now?
Certainly no farther. Further.
Mrs. McNabb, we promise not to lean on you anymore. You make the decision, and I'm sure being a good Catholic, it'll be the right one.
Okay, I have a splendid idea. Why don't we split the money 2 ways?
3 ways.
No, it's far better to give it to one side or the other.
Yes, I agree.
I know. We'll play a game of cards. Winner takes all. What about poker?
I do not play poker.
Neither do I.
You'll both have beginner's luck.
I will not play poker. I'll play solo.
Oh, I love solo. And not that I've played for years, of course.
Well, no, neither have I. Not since university.
In that case, I've no objection.
Well, of course you've no objections, Robert. You heard them. Neither one of them have played for years. Now, look, why don't we just toss a coin?
No. I'll try to play solo.
Yes, I think I can remember the rules. Now, you'll have to join us, of course, madam. Come on.
Well, all right, Father. But I warn you, I'm not very good at cards. I just say a quick Hail Mary and let the chips fall where they may.
Highest card deals, ace low.
I win.
Yes, I shuffle.
And I deal. Now, I tell you what, we make clubs trumps.
And then spades.
And then diamonds.
And then hearts.
Haven't played for years, huh? It's all coming back to you rather quickly, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the door, Robert.
Yeah.
Answer the door, Robert.
Yes.
If it's my scout troop, just ask them to wait, will you?
See they don't cheat, madam.
Robert.
Good evening. Haven't seen my 2 colleagues, have you? They're both wearing tracksuits.
Well, who are you, the local rabbi?
No, local Baptist.
What are you doing, madam? You mustn't show your cards.
Abundance declared, Robert. That Hail Mary really paid off. I am now the proud owner of my own dressing table.
But, madam...
God works in mysterious ways.
Thank you, madam.
Oh, Vicar, you don't have to do that.
You said you wanted it back in the guest room.
Well, I know, but Robert and I can get Robert to do it.
You just go and finish your drink, Mrs. McNabb.
Yes, and we'll put it back in the guest room.
No problem at all.
I do wish you all wouldn't be quite so gung-ho about it.
Well, we're to blame, Mrs. McNabb.
Yes, it's because of our selfishness. My missionary society won't be able to afford any new Bibles.
And the little children of my parish will never see Whipsnade Zoo.
And my senior citizens won't get their day by the sea.
Look, Vicar, since I'm keeping the table, why don't I throw myself on your bonfire? Robert, I feel just awful about this. I mean, if I give the money to one of their charities, then the other 2 are going to get sore at me. I just don't know what are you doing?
Finishing my drink, madam.
Robert, you're Church of England, right?
Yeah.
Well, then why aren't you up there helping the vicar?
I'm sorry, madam. I'm no longer interested in your dressing table.
Oh, really? Why's that?
Because you don't trust me, madam. I promised to give the money to the charity of your choice, and you overruled me.
I did
I
not.
beg your pardon, madam, you did. I have witnesses. You said you yourself would give the money away. Your own words, madam, and they hurt.
Okay, Robert. When we decide to give the money to charity, if we ever decide to give the money to charity, I'll give you the £300, and then you can hand it over on my behalf.
I'll go and supervise the workforce, madam.
Boy, you really are 12 years old. You'd think you were going to be knighted for handing over my £300 to charity.
Many a true word, madam. Be rather pleasant, wouldn't it? The tap of the sword.
Just go move the dressing table.
Yes.
Walter.
Walter, madam. Oh, Raleigh, madam.
No, Mitty, Robert.
Madam.
What?
Your dressing table is in the hall.
Why?
Well, I don't know, madam. I don't trust them. They've obviously cooked up something. Now, be firm, madam. Don't give in.
Mrs. McNabb.
Yes, Father.
We've just had a little conclave.
Uh-huh.
And we were wondering, would you ever give us one more chance?
No.
Yes, Father, I will. But believe me, at this point, I don't care which one of your charities gets the money as long as we can come to some decision.
And we will, Mrs. McNabb.
You better hurry up, Vicar, before his children turn into your senior citizens and all the missionaries in the world are out of Bible.
We've decided to hold a competition.
Winner takes all.
Okay.
And you'll have to time us.
Well, what are you going to do?
Recite the books of the Old Testament.
Veto? That's not in the Old Testament.
We all have the right of veto, madam, and I veto this competition as being grossly unfair to me.
Maybe you'd like to hold a competition on the secrets of your cheese soufflés.
Yes,
Veto!
Now, look, this is getting ridiculous. Now I know why people give to charity anonymously. Why don't you all play another game of solo?
I'm sorry, I do not agree with gambling.
Well, it isn't exactly gambling, Father. We just...
He's not your father, madam.
I know he's not my father, Robert.
He's a Baptist minister. He'd prefer to be called Mister.
Oh, don't be silly, Robert. You're a mister.
Yeah, but I'm not a reverend.
He's a reverend.
He's not a minister.
Is he a mister?
No, he's vicar.
But not a father.
Well, it depends on whether he's high church or low, madam.
Just call me Freddie,
Thank
Mrs.
you,
McNabb.
Freddie.
Definitely low church, madam.
Look, let's sort this charity business out, please, once and for all.
Yes, well, it's quite simple, madam. All you have to do is to select your charity and give the money to me.
Excuse me, Robert. Mrs. McNabb implied she'd rather give it to one of us.
Look, why don't I draw your names out of a hat? Do any of you still wear a hat? Oh, never
I've got it.
mind.
Why don't our 3 charities share the money?
What about madam's little puppy doggies?
Be quiet,
Look,
Robert.
she wants to give the money to one of us.
Yes, equal shares. Now, that's a good idea.
But why should madam give the money to the Baptist when she's a Catholic?
Oh, that has nothing to do with it, Robert.
Now, Robert does have a point there, Harry.
I suppose you think there's only one true church, yours.
And I think everybody has
Listen,
a
why
right
did I
to
say
worship
that,
in
huh?
their own
Whenever the
church.
matter is discussed, Jimmy, well, we all have our blind spots.
I suppose the Roman Catholic Church is the only one that's full on Sundays.
Oh, really? Then you obviously weren't in my church 6 weeks ago. They were standing at the back.
Yes, because the service was televised.
That's perfectly true, but my service was not televised, and yet the church was full.
Of course it was, with my congregation, because it was the United Service. Listen, the only reason you like the United Service
It's
is because
the
of what you
only
get my
way you can
congregation.
get people in to listen to your rather dreary sermons, Harry.
Now look, my sermons only last 20 minutes. We're very lucky if you finish after 40 minutes.
My sermons...
Drinks.
I do not drink alcohol.
Good for you.
Unlike one or two other clergy we could mention.
You can say that again.
Are you casting aspersions, Harry?
Yes, have you ever seen me inebriated?
My sermons are not boring.
Don't change the subject.
When have you seen me inebriated? I want to know!
Look, let's all take a quick jog around the block.
I want an apology.
And so do I.
And so do I.
And so do I.
Nobody has said one thing against you.
I don't want to be left out.
Listen, why don't we all do what the good book says and turn the other cheek? What do you say?
Well, I must admit that I did lose my temper.
Well, so did I.
What's your excuse?
Excuse.
Robert, I'll get that. Now, just keep your cheeks turning till I get back.
I suppose you're a secret drinker.
I am not a secret drinker. How dare you? Drink leads to excess.
Oh, my God, the bonfire. You come to the table. All right, now, wait a minute, kids. I'll be right back.
Anything. I am not bigoted.
Quiet! Now, that includes you, Robert.
I've hardly opened my mouth all evening.
Robert, I happen to be wise to you. All you've done is succeeded in upsetting the vicar, the father, and the Baptist minister, just so they get all stormed up and walk out of this house without thinking a thing about the 300 pounds. Which reminds me, the Boy Scouts are at the front door, and somebody, like you, Robert, better tell them that their bonfire's just gonna have to blaze away without my dressing table.
Very well.
God, all this trouble about money.
The root of all evil.
And who waters it 3 times a day?
Not the dressing table.
I am quite
Wait.
prepared to share the money, Mrs. McNabb.
Good.
Yes, and so am I.
And I.
Ah, well, that makes me feel much better. Now we can all be friends again.
I'm sure we are all friends again, Mrs. McNabb.
Yes, no thanks to Robert.
No, that butler of yours is a rogue, Mrs. McNabb.
He's a permanent thorn in the flesh.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that.
It's not going far enough. You know, he tried to drive a wedge between the 3 of us.
Yes, he wanted the money for himself.
I'm sorry, but you're treading on my 11th commandment. Thou shalt love thy butler as thyself. You see, I can't cook. That wouldn't by any chance be my dressing table, would it, Robert?
They've chopped it up, madam. To get it into the boot.
Well, it serves us right.
God's will.
Yes, it's his punishment.
Well, we won't waste any more of your time, Mrs. McNabb.
But we do thank you for what might have been.
Yes, God bless you.
Now, wait a minute. I said I'd give 300 pounds to charity, and that's what I intend to... Excuse me, Father. That's what I intend to do. Now, 100 pounds for you, Vicar, for your seashore senior citizens. 100 pounds for you, Harry. Now you are up to your you-know-what in Bible.
Thank you, Mrs.
And Jimmy, I think this ought to do it for the kids at the zoo.
God bless you.
What about your own charity, madam?
There's nothing left for my charity, Robert.
But, madam, I am 50 pounds out of pocket.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want you to hear this. You're not going to believe it. Why are you 50 pounds out of pocket?
Expenses, madam.
Expenses?
Every charity is entitled to deduct expenses, madam. It's perfectly legal.
And your expenses would have come to, what, 50 pounds?
At the very least, madam.
I'm sorry, Robert. You're not only out of pocket, you're out of luck. Because all the money has gone to these 3 worthwhile charities, and I'm certainly glad it ended up the way it did. Thank you very much for coming by.
I don't suppose you'd like to come along to the zoo with us and help out with the children, huh?
Oh, Father, I'd love to. What a terrific idea. When is it?
Sunday after last Mass.
Ah, I get your message. Okay, that's a deal. I'll see you Sunday.
Good night, God bless. Thank you
Goodbye,
very much.
Father.
Bye-bye now.
Isn't that exciting, Robert? A day at the zoo. Won't that be fun? What's the matter? Aw, Father Jimmy didn't invite you. Do you want me to call him back? Maybe I can get him to take you. Yeah. Never mind. Maybe next year.
Madam, I am 50 pounds down.
I know, Robert. It's bad luck. But, you know, I didn't want to say anything in front of the men of the cloth, but you have been perfectly adorable to me all evening through this whole dressing table saga. So I've decided on a very special treat for you.
Special treat, madam.
And you know when I say special, I'm not just kidding around. Good night, Robert.
Good night, madam.
Okay, listen. Come on, I'm going to pass out the sweets now. Now listen. Okay, everybody take not more than 2 as I go down the aisle. Have you got it? Okay, now listen, not too many. Take it easy. Now listen, when Robert gets here, my butler, with the picnic basket, you all remember what to do. Do you remember what to do? Do exactly as we planned. Okay, here he comes. This is it. Everybody in their seats. Everybody, oop, mind the feather. Or, John, you know your cue now. This is it. Got it.
He's coming now, Dorothy.
Okay, here we go. Me and you. Here we go to the Whipsnade Zoo. Look, children, it's your Uncle Robert with my picnic basket.
Cannibals.
Right this way. Can you put it on this seat for me? Right there. That'll be just terrific. Okay. Thank you very much, Robert.
Enjoy yourself, madam.
Oh, no, you don't understand, Robert. We're all going to the Whipsnade Zoo.
Not me, madam.
Yeah, but Robert, don't you remember the little treat I promised you at home? Well, this is it.